Well, hello, my beautiful Taurians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of November, right through the end of December 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Taurians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get your overarching energy first and then follow it with the rest of the cards just to see what is coming your way. But I don't know if you noticed with the guide chimes, they were so rich in the sound. You know, normally they're a little bit in and out and they have their own rhythm in accordance with the energy that's coming out from your reading, but it really felt like a flurry of activity, but also this variety of sound. So I feel a lot of you are going to be doing so many different things over the next coming weeks and months there. But because it is this energy of richness of sound, perhaps you're going to have a little bit more money than you expected to save this month or this, coming 6 weeks that I'm reading for. But let's get to the cards and see what they're saying for you. It's just so unusual for the guide chimes to be so full like that straight away. They kind of work up to that. So interesting, something to note there. But thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians? What do they need to be aware of? Oh, I would say definitely pay close attention to the guide chime energy, especially since the card that flew out and knocked the guide chimes there was the Empress energy. So a lot of you, I feel, you've got things in motion right now and you're nurturing them. You're keeping an eye on everything that you've built so far and making sure that you pay attention. I mean, when you have the Empress energy, it means that you're achieving quite a lot right now. And it may not feel like it, but you've been going through a lot as well, and you've been making it work. Showing up for yourself, powering on through, despite how exhausted you've been feeling. Sometimes you may feel actually that what you do is never enough because you have such high standards and expectations of yourself with that Empress energy. But breathe. You're doing everything you can in every moment that you have. That is a very full and rich card. You're focused on your abundance right now. Also, your first house is governing you as you move through the next period, as well as your seventh house. So that means that, you are invested fully in everything that you do. And, you are utilizing every moment you have in order to make things work. But also, you may need to compartmentalize the steps that you are doing right now, because each step sees you closer to your goal, but also, you're closer to that accomplishment of whatever it is that you are trying to achieve right now. But those steps also mean you should take a moment of pause or rest. After that, we've got the Death card there. So knowing when to shut off, knowing when to take a break. A lot of you are perhaps under the wire on something, a deadline. The Death card energy indicates a lot of you are focused on endings of things, expiry dates, or getting things completed and finished so you can have a little bit more time for you, or maybe you're going away, taking some sort of vacation there. We've got the Moon and we've got the Judgment. So a lot of you Focus on your sense of purpose. I feel like you're looking at the industry that you work in and how it's evolving, how it's changing, how you are someone who is, very qualified at what you do. You're very established with the Empress energy, so you have a lot of natural knowledge, but also acquired knowledge. And I feel like you're taking things to the top. Some of you may feel like you've reached as far as you can go with a certain project or a certain position at this moment in time, and you're feeling a little bit more open to expansion. Okay, so you may be wanting to learn new things there. We got the moon energy as an outcome. So a lot of you are watching, waiting, observing the industry that you work in or the projects that you're doing. Even if you work for yourself or whether you work for a company, I feel like, there's a little hesitancy because, I feel like you are noticing some changes going on in the infrastructure, especially since we got the death card there. Some of you may be witnessing some downsizing in the industry or the company, or maybe, you're noticing if you work for yourself, the tools that you require to do your job are in some way, how can I put that? There's a lack, or perhaps, there's a lot of high pricing going on there, and you're just noticing that things are changing. And you're just a little bit cautious, but with that Judgment card energy, I feel like you're navigating your way through these changes. Every industry changes, okay? So I want you to be aware of it. And I feel like you're in a really great position right now. You're focused on your sense of purpose. I mean, if you work for yourself, I feel a lot of you are having lots of rich new ideas. Your imagination is running wild. I feel a lot of you are thinking about next year already and trying to set yourself up there for the plans that you have. And also, I feel this is about you maybe even like taking an ongoing course, because the death card is in the resistance position. So a lot of your stuff is ongoing. You're nurturing this. So there is this energy of expansion. It's ongoing. Okay. I'm actually hearing a song right now as well. This is a very famous song. It's Car Wash by Rose Royce, if my memory serves me well. And I'm just hearing a very specific part of the song. Now, this doesn't mean that the whole song is for you. I'm being given very specific lyrics right now. That tends to be the measure of what you need to hear from the song. But sometimes when you hear the actual full song as you're going about your business over the next coming weeks and months, this can indicate that there is some sort of nice little surprise, something in the works coming in for you that feels like, I actually feel like you don't quite celebrate it straight away. It's like, okay, I'll see it when it's actually fully formed, or I'll believe it and celebrate it when it's completed, is what I'm seeing. So this could be a deal or proposal, or for some of you, it could be a bonus, or if you work in a company where there are bonuses. I mean, with the moon and the Judgment, you may even look at the bonus and think, well, I've brought my A game. And although it's nice to get a bonus, I feel like you are very grateful because you have the Empress energy here, but you're aware that you went above and beyond. And perhaps you may feel that there's more to come. There's room for more. Let's put it that way. It doesn't mean that you're disappointed at all. I feel like you're just working towards something more. But listen out for that song. I'm going to give you the lyrics of what I can hear right now. I'm actually seeing 1111 as well. This is important there as well. So I'm hearing work my fingers to the bone. And then I'm just hearing it go to another part of the song, ain't no telling who you might meet. So some of you, over the next coming weeks and months, I'm getting a really strong energy. You're going to meet someone very influential in your career, or you're going to meet someone who has power or authority in your industry, no matter what you do or what you aspire to do. Because right now you're locked onto your sense of purpose with that Judgment energy. There is some sort of opportunity, and it feels almost like for a lot of you, it's coming back around. If that makes sense. So if there's been a missed opportunity, there's no such thing. I always believe there's no such thing as a missed opportunity. What is meant for you will never pass you by. I promise you, my guides in the past, when things didn't go my way, they were like, the best is yet to come. And they were absolutely right. Sometimes the universe will remove things that are not meant for you to lock you down and trap you in something that perhaps you couldn't see or were not aware of. But there feels like some sort of opportunity coming in that is very abundant, that can be promotion vibes if you work in a company, or for some of you, you may wait until, if you work for a company that gives some sort of benefit or bonus, you're waiting to close out the year before you leave into a more prosperous role that really utilizes your skill set. Okay, so that's coming through there. But I feel there is something in the next coming weeks and months, even maybe into the beginning of the new year there for you. And I'm not really reading for that period, but my guides are giving it to me, where you will meet a person or come across a person who can bestow either some sort of knowledge or opportunity that helps you really thrive in your industry. Now, if you're thinking about working for yourself or becoming your own boss, I feel this is a really great time to move towards that. I definitely see here your sense of purpose. The moon tells me that you're cautious. You don't know how it's going to go, of course, but I feel like you've got a dream, and I can see it's going to be very prosperous. You invest all your energy, time, and your knowledge into this, and you're going to make it grow. It's going to be something that transcends what you thought it even could be. It's going to be very successful indeed. And if you're already in your own business, you're running your own business, because the Empress is in command. So I would definitely say here that you may be looking at expanding your reach, because your first house is governing you at this moment in time. A lot of you, if you run your own business, this could be a period where you're looking at your branding or your website, what it says about your industry or your skill set or your product or services or whatever it is that you offer. You may be looking at, purchasing deals when it comes to clothing as well, because the Empress can connect to you dressing for success there. So you may be looking at how you present your business, how you present yourself, because the first house is all about the self. But also, if you work for a company, this could be a period where, if you work for a company where you get uniforms, for example, or some sort of clothing allowance, you could be getting that at this time. Also, I would say that if you work for a company and you're hoping for a promotion, it feels very uncertain at the first, but then there's some sort of invitation to an appraisal or some sort of meeting where you will discuss growth in your role. And I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of like you've come as far as you can with the certain role that you've got, but there is something new opening up that you may be asked to figurehead, or something kind of that's never been done before, something exciting. It feels very new. And this could come in at the beginning of next year. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. Now, of course, not everybody wants to leave. The Empress energy indicates that you're working really hard. You've got things in motion. You're paying attention. It tells me you're very talented no matter what you're doing right now. It tells me that you're someone who's going to be very productive. There is going to be a flurry of activity to get everything done, especially with that Death card energy. You may be wanting to close out projects as you come to the end of the year there, and you're very focused on getting tasks and responsibilities organized and completed, but also focusing on anything that's ongoing. On a personal level, you may also be looking at service providers or things that help you run your life efficiently. I feel like you're actually going to be more efficient over the next coming weeks and months there. And I do want to address a lot of you who have come to this reading, and it's only if you've come to this reading and you're currently out of work, if you have been made redundant, or a contract has naturally come to a close there. I feel it's important to recognize that there is 2 opportunities coming your way. 2 of them I can feel here, and you're going to judge which is the best one for you. You choose the one that's in alignment with your sense of purpose, with your calling, okay? And this is going to be very rich in its energy, and you're going to be able to have like a standalone position, or you set yourself apart in some way. You really make it your own, this role that you choose. It's going to be very abundant. You actually transfer your skills that you've got into this role. For some of you, you may actually train as you go in this role as well. There may be aspects of this position that you need to learn how to process things, or how to, get with their way of doing things, because I feel there's an energy of apprenticeship here as well, but it's a fully formed role. So it's not really apprenticeship. It just feels like you're doing it and you're getting paid as you do it. Okay, but you may need to learn some things. There's going to be some things here with that moon energy that you're unsure of or you don't know, but I feel that, it may feel overwhelming when you first start the role because it's new. But actually, this is something that you're going to be very successful in, and you're really going to grow in this industry, and it actually gives you more freedom, whatever job this is, okay? So with a lot of love and respect. I'll give you more of that when I get to the rest of the cards. I mean, the Death card, it literally is an indication that right now, some of you may be feeling a little bit stuck or stagnant. You've got things going on and you can't see the progress that you're making because you're in the midst of it. It's happening. It feels like it's constant. I mean, that song, even the lyrics that I was given for that song was like, you're working your fingers to the bone. So you're working really hard, okay? I mean, the Empress energy, it says here, the future will bring healing and respite for your emotional and physical wounds. Your investments will pay off if you carefully tend to them. And I definitely see that you're doing that because this is the protagonist energy. You're showing up for yourself. And going to be a lot of growth here going on in your career. But the Death card says to move forward, develop a new perspective on the world. The past is behind you and the rest of your life is still ahead of you. So even if something did not go your way or you feel that you've been a little bit stuck in something, the best is yet to come. There is a transition period here. There's a lot of change going on in your industry, but you're adapting to it because you have the Moon energy, which means you're very flexible. There's an ebb and flow, okay? The Moon, it can be a very cautious energy. It's like as you move into 2025, even if you're just here for the money aspect, you're like, okay, I don't want to know about my career. I just want to know about my money. A lot of you with that Moon energy, you may be very cautious about how 2026 is going to unfold economically because already we're seeing things a little bit challenging going on over the last couple of years, of course. And the Empress energy indicates that you're protecting your finances, learning about generational wealth or how to utilize your finances so you can compound wealth in order to think about your financial future. And of course, your 401ks, your pension pots, because the Empress is a mature card. So you're looking at maturing your finances or trying to save a little bit more money there. But with the Death card, it can indicate you're portioning off some finances there, either for a gifting period. You may actually change the way that you gift this year as well, is what I'm seeing there. Because the Judgment card, it's all about experience. So some of you, there may be small tokens of gifting if you're someone who gifts at this time of year, but it's more about experiences. So some of you may be thinking about that there, like vacations or travel. But the Moon energy, it says your imagination will bring you success if your thoughts are coupled with practical action, and you have the practical action card. I mean, this is a Taurus card and a Libra card there, and I feel this is about you putting your needs first in the working industry. Whether you work for a company or whether you work for yourself, you're also going to be thinking about your skill development as well as your habit formation and, of course, mindfulness. Improving your focus, but also making sure health and safety in the working environment is paramount, that you don't burn yourself out. A lot of you are exhausted there. You have so many things on the go right now. And of course, we've got that Judgment energy. It says the fruit of your decisions are coming and you will receive that which you deserve. The path at your feet and the direction it is leading you are clear. Okay, sorry, the writing here is so small and I'm wearing glasses. I was like, I have to take these glasses off to see this. So that's why there was a slight pause there. But as you can see, the bird represents freedom. So a lot of you are working towards financial freedom, taking down debt, for example. A lot of you have ongoing payments, and you are looking at utilizing your knowledge in order to best apply that to your financial strategy at this time. But I see a lot of you working super hard on your sense of purpose. And with the Judgment card, it tells me that as you close out the year, you're going to be looking back at all the things that you felt went your way, all the things that need improvement that you're working towards, and you're going to have a really nice beginning to 2026 is what I'm seeing there. But let's get to the rest of your cards. We got the Devil card. Now that's a protagonist energy, so a lot of you, this is you obsessively working towards something, but also, keeping that spark alive. I mean, the Devil card, when it is a career and money reading, it can indicate that, you are keeping almost an obsessive eye on your finances right now, or you're worried about money. There's a little bit of doubt there perhaps as well. And I would say that you're doing everything that you've got with the resources that you have, and you're making it work. And there is a nice little breakthrough here for you as well as you close out the year, and it sets you up for 2026. But also the Devil card, it can indicate that a lot of you, I only picked the uprights just so you're aware there. We've got the Judgment card again. It's in the resistance position, and I kind of like it there because your outcome of your overarching energy, the Judgment is present. So it means that you're locked onto your sense of purpose. You're completing things that need to be completed. And it's almost like you have a second wind as you close out the year, like a renewal of energy. You know, we are going through Mercury retrograde. So you're in a re-examination period where you're getting clear. You're thinking about the next steps. You're not rushing into anything, and you're being instinctual when you have that moon energy as well. You're locked onto a dream and you're going to make it happen. So I feel like a lot of you could be thinking about new ways of expanding or looking at alternative opportunities for the new year for you to step into. Okay, because I definitely see here you're above the competition. You're someone who is at your peak in your career or your industry. You're very talented, and I feel like you will be noticed, appreciated. But the Devil card is there. So for some of you, you may have been noticing a very toxic vibe in your working environment. And actually, you know, when you work in an industry that is very fast-paced, or basically, you know, I feel like there's a lot of energy where things are ramping up at this moment in time, a flurry of activity. Sometimes we can look at the toxicity and we go, you know what, I'm leaving, that's it. But also with that Seven of Wands, it can be that you are changing your perspective and actually protecting yourself from this toxicity. You don't need to be affected by it, or you don't need to allow it in. If there's a person in particular who's singling you out, it normally means that they see you as a threat in the industry, and there may be some opportunities coming up there. I definitely see that there is, and it can be that, you know, they see you as someone who is their ultimate competition, and they need to kind of rock the boat to somehow trigger you or push your buttons so that you react. You know, there's always that sneaky person who likes to quietly push the buttons and then leaves you with it so that you react, and then you look like the bad person because you're reacting to a situation, but everybody who's not involved in that situation looks at it like, is this an overreaction? Okay, so I feel just be a little bit mindful of a person who is singling you out because they see you as competition. I would say keep doing you. Be your wonderful self. You're starting with the Empress energy, which means that you are taking the higher moral ground. You're someone who is naturally very gifted. Keep on going. I mean, even if you have like a contender in the industry that you're in, I feel secretly from afar, they're in awe of what you do, and they may kind of like copycat what you do. So make sure you patent or copyright or trademark anything that you are invested in right now. But also I would say that this person, I don't see that they're going to badmouth you at all. I just see that there's a little bit of envy there. So just watch out for that, okay? Now, looking at the energy, because the Devil card, and I'm just going to place my finger carefully over the Devil card, because of course we've got two figures there that are rather risque, and YouTube does not like that. So let's just put my finger like that there. But we've got the Devil card as a protagonist energy. Now this indicates that obsessively you're working towards completing your tasks. A lot of you may feel overworked right now. I mean, that's why that song came out. It can indicate that there's work piling up, or you feel that, you know, it's never ending there. And the Devil card can indicate frustration, and also, you know, it can indicate excess. So you've got a lot on your plate. A lot of you could also have personal stuff going on there as well. So it can be that you're trying to factor everything in, and it just feels like you're compartmentalizing to try and make everything work there. Now, the Devil card energy, it can indicate that there is some power play. Okay, so just watch out for that. And I feel that this is a person who may try to call you out on something, and actually it was their mistake. So if you do work for a company or you work in a team, there's a person who's really not a team member. They're all for themselves. So just watch out for that. I mean, Seven of Wands can indicate that they try to, you know, either accuse you of something, or they make a mistake and they try to kind of let it linger that it wasn't them, and they kind of set it up. Not that they're trying to frame you for anything. I don't see that at all. But it can be that for some of you, there is some sort of event that occurs where either you go to HR, or you need to defend something, or defend a position, or defend your idea on something, or actually a lot of you may even correct a mistake that someone else did, and then they kind of try and not take accountability for this, and you may have to like defend the action that you took to make sure that you corrected a mistake that went above and beyond your remit, but actually, you got it sorted. So I feel like you're all in it together, but there's definitely one person who's not taking accountability here. And with the Empress in the resistance position, this person is very scattered at this moment in time. I feel like there's an energy where they depend on like other people picking up the slack, or they don't have the skill set that you have. They cannot rise to the occasion. So that's why I see a lot of you kind of like saving the day on something. And if you run your own business, this Devil card could be that you're frustrated at somebody that you outsource some of the work that you do to. So whether that's an accountant, whether that's to, a PA, an assistant, it could be that there is a minor blip or there is some sort of mistake that has gone on that you're really frustrated about. And you're kind of like, you know what, if I want it done correctly, I may as well do it myself. But I want you to be aware that this is a one-off, okay? It is a major thing that I feel like you make it minor. And what I mean by that is, if you don't attend to it or address it, it could be major, but because you step up and lead and save the day on it, it's really minor because you kind of had the skill set, the knowledge, and the composure, the professionalism to deal with it. Okay, so just watch out for that. I just feel like whether you work for a company or you work for yourself, there could be like a minor error. Well, it seems like it's major enough to warrant a call or investigation into it. Okay, and whether that's just you like looking into it and going, I need to call somebody or I need to do this and correct it. It needs to be corrected, whatever it is. And you may be frustrated, there may be a little bit of anger there, but you have the Empress energy, which is this composure. So secretly you may seethe that you shouldn't be in this position in the first place. However, it gets sorted. I want you to be aware of that because Seven of Wands is a protection card. So also, if you are someone who's working in an industry where there are redundancies, I feel with that Seven of Wands, there is an energy of protection, defending your position in some way. Devil card can indicate that a lot of you may be a little bit worried about that. Okay, if you're noticing people getting the call, as it were, and suddenly they're exited, I feel like you remain in a position where you have skills that you blend. You're someone who can do a great job at anything you turn your hand to. So I feel like you're a real asset. So if a lot of you are worried, these cards are indicating as an outcome energy that, you defend your position. But I always say this, and like many, many years ago, I was in a high-powered position where I was working really hard. People were rude. It was a very toxic environment. I tried not to let it get to me, but of course it was very damaging to my health. And every opportunity, the universe said, leave this position, leave. If you don't leave, we're sending you a tower. And I saw the signs and I ignored the signs. And the universe came along and went whoop. And suddenly, I found myself leaving the position of my own volition. I actually stood up in a meeting and was like, I gotta go. That's it. I'm done. I'm not coming back. And I kid you not, I was scared. I was petrified. I cried all the way home. I was like, what's happening? Why did I do this? My body was exiting me from this company, and my mind was screaming you need this job, you need the money, what are you doing? Don't be crazy. So what happened there was the universe exiting me from a position that I should have left a long time ago. And if you're getting that vibe, I, at the time, didn't have anything to go to because it was very spontaneous. I'm not seeing anything like this for you, but I'm just highlighting that sometimes the universe comes along and just takes things away. Projects, people, situations, environments that are not positive for your ongoing journey. And I wish I could go back to me back then and say, it's going to be great in the future. Trust the process. It feels really weird and disconcerting right now because I was petrified, right? Something that was a structure that I'd always known and I needed the money. And of course, economically, it was a very bad time for this to have happened to me. But actually, it was the best thing that could ever have happened to me. I actually dread to think what would have happened to me if I was still there. That's the real truth of it. Okay. So sometimes the universe, if there are redundancies going on and you're lending, a supportive shoulder or ear to a person who has been made redundant, whether this is your partner or friend or someone that you're close to in a career that you're working in right now, You know, it was time. It was the calling. The judgment energy is like, this is a period that we're moving through in humanity where we are looking at our lives and whether we're happy, and we're judging a situation to come back to the very core of ourselves. And if we're too worried or nervous to kind of make that leap, the universe will come and say, okay, it's time to have a clean slate because there's something better here to come, okay? These cards are defending your purpose or connecting to your purpose. So if you have to give some advice to somebody, because some of you are going to get someone coming to you for advice in the next couple of weeks and months, that's why it's coming through. So I'm just going to leave that there and move on from that. I don't see any redundancy energy here for you, particularly my beautiful Taurians, because the death card is in the resistance position. So things are ongoing, okay, not ending. I feel like you're being set up for some sort of transition period, and you're going to get that call, and that call is about a promotion. For a lot of you, if you work for a company, I mean, this is literally judgment card, spirit calling, and the Empress is like calling you to step into your power, to value your skill set. There may be some negotiations about money this year as well. If you're offered a promotion, I feel like you defend what you do so that you get a fair amount. And that is literally your 1st and 7th house right there. So you're not kind of being difficult. You are knowing your worth. So I would say don't worry about it if you're having to negotiate a better deal. Always negotiate up. They'll always negotiate you down. And then you will get to the figure that you want to arrive at, okay? Now, 2 of Pentacles, a lot of you multitasking, very busy over the next coming weeks and months. I've already said that there, but there's almost like, a major flurry of activity, almost to the point where you obsessively have to get stuff done. But with the Empress, you're going to really breeze it. Organization skills are the key, but also I would say that you may be moving money around. I mean, 2 of Pentacles can indicate this is a period or this is a time of year where you get a little bit anxious about money flowing in and out. You're trying to catch your rhythm, you're juggling a lot of things, and you're trying really hard not to overspend. And I would say if you are gifting, the people that are in your life that you're gifting to, they love you. They're not going to judge you on how much you spend. And a lot of you are going to get some great deals there as well, especially if you're a parent. It's a little bit tighter if you're gifting this time of year as well. I feel like you're going to discover discounts or deals or better opportunities in order to get the same product that you want, but for a lesser price there. But the majority of you, whether you run your own business or work for a company, I feel like you're obsessively getting things done. You're doing a lot of things so you can take a break there or just relax at the end of the year. 2 of Pentacles indicates taking pleasure in your work, being adaptable to change, and working hard, but also playing hard, being eager to experience something new as well. And I feel, you have things in motion, but there is a bigger opportunity heading in your way. Now, for some of you, if you work for a company, it can be that you're opening up to a promotion vibe here, and there may be a small increase in your finances or talk of some sort of increase in alignment with, inflation as it goes up every year there. For some of you, if you work for yourself, this could be that you are portioning off money to diversify. Also, I get this energy of like having one thing up and running in motion and then doing something else. So it could be second streams of income or a side hustle that a lot of you are thinking about at this time. And for some of you, you're thinking of seasonal work to bring in some extra funds. And this is going to line your pockets. 2 of Pentacles is an energy of rhythm, of course, but also it's an energy of increasing like bit by bit your finances there. 2 of Pentacles normally means like you will be paying your bills on time, but also, you may be making changes to the way that you save. I would also say that if there's any saving scheme that seems too good to be true, because the Devil card is there, I would say best to investigate it or avoid it. Always good to get advice there. Now, of course, the Judgment card in the resistance position at first will go into the upright there. So that's why I was talking about an error. Okay, now this could be someone's error in judgment in that they kind of like underestimate you. You're bringing your A game. You're doing it all. And I feel like the measure of your success is going to be very evident at the end of the year. You're going to sit back and relax and go, you know what? I blended all those skills I had, I made it work, and the pathway is being made clear. Look at that temperance energy. It even said that in these cards, the moon card. As you can see, the path is clear towards the sun, which means you're setting yourself up next year for more abundance. But all the things that you're doing right now, your future self will really thank you for it. And you have major arcana cards here. You have the Empress twice, you have the Devil card, the Judgment card twice, and the Temperance card, as well as the Moon card and the Death card. So, of course, the overarching energy is only major arcanas. So that tells me the fated energy. This is about enjoying what you do. It's about flourishing in your working environment, building on your talent, but also it is about having your dreams come alive and judging where you feel like you're at right now so that you can either diversify, expand your reach, or, reach for more. Because I feel there's an energy here of you being careful with your finances as well, but there's also this step in a different direction. Now, this could be a different kind of task or responsibility that you're taking on, or it could also be like new knowledge that you can implement. Because remember, pentacles are seeds. So this can be a seed of knowledge that you are going to pick up this year, but implement it, and then it really grows into something exciting for next year there as well. But I keep getting this energy that a lot of you are going to meet someone of influence, and you actually are someone of influence already, but I feel there could be a partnership here, or someone who's like well known in your industry who sees what you're about and highlights it. So this could be someone famous. It could be someone who notices if you're an influencer, for example, and you're coming up, this person may notice what you're about and give a shout out to what you do, or shine a light on your business, or start utilizing your skill set or your business or your goods, whatever it is. And I feel like a lot of you are making a name for yourself, or you're gaining some sort of influence in your industry. And, if you work for yourself, I feel this is a great time where you are shouting about your skills, marketing yourself, promoting yourself, opening yourself up to more is what I'm seeing there. So I feel with the Seven of Wands energy, this is about you going the distance. You're committed to something and you're at your personal best. You're sustaining your effort over the next coming weeks. And I feel that you're having inspired solutions to any problems and you're living life on your own terms. A lot of you are trying to work towards financial independence, taking down debt, of course, paying off your bills on time, moving money around to make it work. But also, there is this energy of trying to be financially independent, either running your own business or maybe even automating something that brings in finances so you can be more free. Because the Two of Pentacles can indicate one thing is running nicely in the background and there's something else that you have that is a little bit more hands-on. Whether this is you decluttering your home and actually selling pre-loved goods, this could be something that perhaps just is ticking over, and then you're doing something day to day that is more sustainable. For some of you, this could also be something that you utilize with the internet. Could be you utilizing your knowledge. The Empress energy is an energy that tells me you're a pro at what you do. You're highly gifted and talented. You have a lot of experience. So it can be that you're imparting your wisdom with other people. So there's a flurry of activity because you're doing what you normally do, but you could also be trying to get something up as a side hustle or sideline, writing a manual of how to do something. Maybe you're writing a book on your industry, you're judging the industry, the pitfalls, the pros and cons, and telling people how to avoid with the moon energy, anything that is hidden that you wish you'd known when you started. For some of you, it could be a course of learning or helping people get qualifications, certifications, or you're just writing a book on something that is exciting to you. It doesn't have to be a book. It can be, that you are just utilizing something that you're doing already and doubling down on it. So if you are an online presence, for example, or you run a company already, or you're doing something and you have the natural skill sets to do it, you're like, okay, why am I not doing this for myself? Or it can be that you are like, I'm already doing it for myself. Can I replicate it? Can I do it twice? I feel a lot of you are trying to utilize the skill sets that you have right now to make it work. And Of course, you're under pressure. Seven of Wands tells me you're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. So that Empress energy is going to make sure that you focus a little bit more on, your mental well-being in the working environment. And with the Temperance card, it's like a relief. You close the year on a relief where everything feels like it's more balanced, more harmonious. And as you start moving towards 2026, I feel like you're making sure you don't spend more than you have, and you're letting money flow in and out. That's why I'm excited to see these two cards, because money is currency, right? It is current. If you think about it, it is fluid. It is something that when you think about the jargon that is used in order to describe money, it's a currency. Current is connected to the flow of water, of course, and the flow of water is shaped by the river banks, so the banks, of course. So this is about acknowledging that, especially if you're in a business for yourself, you got to speculate to accumulate. So you invest in something and then it starts to expand, it starts to flow. So money needs to come in and out. Whenever we hold on too tightly to anything in our lives, eventually things get stagnant. So if you feel like you've been a little bit stagnant recently, I feel this is a period to kind of let go, explore. A lot of you, this is a very explorative time for you, exploring new ideas, new ways of doing things, utilizing new products or new social media platforms, maybe even looking at new kind of like software, new tools, new kit, new electronics, whatever it is. A lot of you could be exploring new ways of doing something to keep you in the flow, keep you relevant in your industry, stay on top of, an ever-changing environment there. And I feel like you're ahead of the game already, is what I'm seeing there. The Temperance card is always connected to your sense of purpose, and all your cards are aligning at the end of the month there with this sense of purpose. This reading is from the end of November right through to the end of December. So I feel like you understand what you need to do for next year. You're being called forward in the direction of your dreams. And the next coming weeks are all about direction. Where are you headed? How do you feel in your industry? Do you love what you're doing? I definitely see those extra responsibilities there. Can you delegate? If you cannot, what's your next move? So I feel a lot of you are looking at what's the best course of action for you for 2026 and beyond. A lot of you are so over 2025 already, but we've got the umbrella. Now this means you're protected in your endeavors. It also indicates that some of you may be looking at financial structures that umbrella your finances. Things like structured companies or generational wealth structures. I'm trying to think what that is actually called. I'm not really au fait with those sort of financial terms, but you could be looking at trust funds, things like that, okay, in order to make sure you utilize structures that work for very affluent people. Why can they not work for you? You don't have to have millions or billions for these structures to work for you. Again, I'm not au fait with this. You need to look into a little bit more. A lot of you are already, but I feel there's an energy here of you making your money work for you, compounding in some way so that it's like two streams of income. You're helping yourself by working really hard, but you are utilizing your knowledge to put your finances to work. And of course, that will be like small increases along the way. But always remember, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So just be a little bit mindful of that. But we've got umbrella all under one roof, consolidating, working in-house, wearing many hats, far-reaching and covered. So a lot of you, especially since we've got the death card there as well, some of you are looking at insurance. You may be looking at expiry dates there, visas, passports, due dates. Also, if you're running your own business, you may be actually looking at things coming to the end of its term so you can renew. This is a big renewal period there for you. But also it means that a very rich period where you're going to be doing many things, wearing many hats in your industry, no matter what you do, especially if you work for yourself, many hats that perhaps you don't get paid for all of those aspects, but it will be worth it long term. And of course, we've got abundance. Loving this card for you. It says here, fruits of your labor, harvest time. The Empress is all about harvest time, working really hard, nourishing your skill set, building on what you have already. But if you're waiting for a very important call, you're going to get it and you're going to celebrate it. But I feel like you're the sort of person who's like, I'm not going to celebrate it until it's finalized, the deal is sealed, or it's really like tangibly in my hand. But it says here, extra cash. I definitely see a lot of you either taking seasonal work or working out ways to build on your finances and have extra cash there. Being fulfilled, being blessed, overflow, and the time is ripe. And you have a lot of ripe cards here. So I feel like, you're taking your industry to the next level, or your career to the next level. And I feel like you're doing it all by yourself. I would say that this is a period of maintaining and sustaining, but there is a piece of good news that comes your way. This call that I feel is coming in. This could also be an email, but I feel a lot of you are going to get a very important piece of information that sets you up for next year. And I feel, again, it could be that two things are blossoming for you, second streams of income, or I'm not feeling it's like a sidestep. It feels like for some of you, it could be an in-house opportunity if you work for a company, but it feels like you've come as far as you can with the role. It just feels like something new is opening up there, but you get to migrate your skills. And if you work for yourself, I feel like you may be just learning about how to migrate your skills into some unfamiliar territory, as it were, in order to expand your reach or go global, or, be more visible in the working environment. Now, if you're just focusing on your finances right now, I do see a small increase in finances there, protecting your finances, making it work really hard for you. And I feel like you maintain a tight rein on your finances there as well. You're building wealth. I definitely see you building. Maybe slow and steady in the next coming weeks. It's not going to be this big burst of energy. If you think about, planting a seed, it takes time. So I feel this month, this is a slow, accumulation period where, you're making sure that you remain on top of your bills, your finances, but I feel you're building for more to come. And slowly over time, it will build up there. So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or ring for you. We have a life ring, so this is all about your commitments right now. The ring indicates something that you've been putting your effort and time and energy into is going to come back to you with a lot of fruition there, so lots of rewards. Also, life ring indicates you're setting yourself up financially for when you're retiring. A lot of you, beautiful Taurians, are focused on your 401ks, judging your situation, and if you're actually retiring this month, congratulations, this is time to give back to yourself. Of course, the Devil card tells me you're going to worry about that, but the Two of Pentacles indicates that at the beginning you're going to be very, very careful with your finances, and you're going to be very consistent at making sure you don't overspend. But I feel like you relax into it a little bit more, and you're going to see that you have enough and that you're going to be in the flow. I see you traveling. I see, that there's going to be also a person that is quite close to you who retires pretty much at the same time, maybe a little bit after you there. But I feel that there's an energy of kind of making it work and just enjoying yourself. And also having this sense of purpose, looking at your life philosophy. And I see you being very creative, even more so creative in your retirement there as well. A lot of you may also be in the flurry of activity, whether you're retiring or not, in order to go on a vacation or go and see family there. And I just feel like you're focused on your commitments and making sure that you're expanding on what you have already, okay? So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Taurians. I hope something resonates in that reading for you. Thank you so much, and love and light.